Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the BG Show. I'm here to talk about Bad Batch Season 2. Before I start watching Season 3, I wanted to talk about this so I don't get spoiled, and I'm kind of unbiased going into Season 3. I did a rewatch of the show to kind of refresh my memory. So, I thought Season 2 was really, really strong. Spoiler review, so if you haven't seen it, this is your warning. Really, really strong show. I'm glad they're making the show. It allows you to kind of be in the Star Wars universe to get a plot that matters, but they don't have to use the main characters in Clone Wars and make it matter too much. So there's some filler episodes, but I thought this season was really good. Particularly, I think it was episode 7 when they're being chased by the assassin. Was really, really good. Reminded me of almost like a horror movie, of like a slasher horror movie. So I thought that was really good. It ended surprisingly. I'm surprised. We'll see if he's alive, but it seems like Tech is... I mean, I have a feeling he'll be alive somehow, but it seems like Tech might be dead, which was surprising. Yeah, I mean, not my favorite Star Wars show in the animated universe. I mean, Clone Wars and Rebels are so good, but certainly really, really good. I'm excited for Season 3 to get into it. So, if you haven't seen Season 2 yet, I definitely recommend watching. If you haven't seen the show yet, I'd recommend watching. If you haven't seen Star Wars at all... I'll do a separate video on that, kind of guiding you through it, but start with A New Hope. If this is your first time watching this channel, please subscribe, hit the button. But yeah, so getting into Season 2, you know, the plot is kind of they're trying to replace the clones, which I think is really, really smart. We've never learned about this in Star Wars. At times, I think sometimes they get too deep in the weeds, kind of explaining things, but this makes a lot of sense. We don't know how they went from clones to stormtroopers, and you know, when I was a kid and they got into the political stuff, it was super boring in Phantom Menace with the Trade Federation. But now, it's super realistic and it's more interesting. You know, they're talking about the clones getting benefit plans, and you know, they're trying to basically whack senators, which I think is really cool. It's almost like mob stuff in Star Wars. So really, really strong season. I think, like I said, episode 7 was the best. As the season progresses, they are kind of just, they're trying to replace the clones, and the Bad Batch themselves are, the Bad Batch are essentially just going on a series of missions, trying to make money sometimes, trying to just stay out of trouble sometimes. They get their ship stolen. They meet some crime lords. My favorite stuff is the stuff on Coruscant, which is I think my favorite Star Wars planet. I just love being in the underworld on that planet. So just really, really good stuff. I guess heading into Season 3, if Tech is still alive, would be the biggest thing. But it seems like Palpatine is going to be... And this is what kind of, I guess, the one confusing part, talking about Palpatine, is when he's still the Chancellor. We never see this, right? Because it goes from Episode 3, where he has that fight with Yoda, and then it goes all the way, the Republic's over into the Empire, and by the time we see Palpatine again, the Senate's done. So it's kind of interesting how Palpatine just kind of keeps his job as Chancellor. It's like nobody, I guess it makes sense, like nobody knows that he killed all the Jedi or whatnot. That's still kind of confusing to me. They don't, unless I missed it, they don't really explain how Palpatine just still has his job, and he's just kind of scot-free of all of the stuff that happened in Episode 3, which is really confusing. But then you get into what does everyone know about compared to what the audience knows about. And I'm not really sure. This is like a similar thing that happens in the Avengers when, like, the Battle of Avengers Endgame happens. Does everyone know about that, or do just the fans know about that? So it's a similar thing here. Obviously, people don't know he's the Sith Lord, or do they? And they're just scared to say anything. I don't know. So that's kind of my review of Season 2, a quick review. I'm trying to think of things that I missed, major plot points. Tech dying was definitely the main thing. And, you know, Rex shows up, so that was pretty cool. But they kind of... I'm not sure where they're going to lead this, or, you know, what's going to happen if they're all going to die, like in a Rogue One thing. Omega being Boba Fett's sister is still really interesting. I don't know if they're going to bring her into live action. But a strong season. Like I said, go watch it. I'm trying to think of other spoilers. It's really just episode by episode. You know, we get Tarkin, which is really good. So yeah, that's my review. I'm going to start watching Season 3 now. Thanks guys for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.